Hi guys, this is Lauren with Lauren Watkins Art, and today I am testing out the Lightwish Soft Pastels. Lightwish reached out to me and asked if I wanted to test out and review their soft pastels. They are not paying for this review, but they did send me the product, so I wanted you guys to know. But all the opinions and thoughts about these pastels are 100% my own. So let's get into this review. First up, they passed the packaging test. All of the pastels are securely in their places. They're not broken. They're not rolling around the box. You'd be surprised at how many brands fail this first step. So here are the colors on the first tray. And for the most part, this first tray is our warms and our warm neutrals. So it has our reds, oranges, yellows. It has our browns and a few of our warm greens. There's a couple sneaky cool ones in there, but for the most part, those are our warmer colors. Our second tray is our cooler colors. So it has our blues, our violets, and our blacks and cool grays. This is a nicely curated all-purpose set. So it's not curated for portraiture and it's not curated for landscapes or seascapes or anything like that. This set is supposed to have a nice balance to get you through most of those situations. And I would say it succeeds quite well. It's a nice balance of color family, so you have reds, oranges, yellows, blues, greens, and purples to choose from. It's a balance of vibrant colors and neutrals, which you want to have neutrals of each color, and browns and blacks, so you have a balance of those within your set. And I would say it's a really good balance of warm colors and cool colors, so you have warms and cools in each color family, and overall, it's a really nicely balanced set that will get you pretty far. Something I look at closely when I am reviewing these sets, especially these entry-level sets, is the distribution of your darker tones. Do you have multiple darks to choose from, or is it only black? And this set is pretty good. It has some nice dark purples, some dark blues, some dark greens to choose from. The red is quite dark in this set. You have quite a few darker values to choose from, which will make painting so much easier. So that is another pro for the Lightwish pastels. The first thing I do after opening up my pastels and admiring their beauty is to swatch the colors. I like to swatch them on two different types of paper. UArt sanded paper, that is the paper I traditionally work on, and Canson-Mitant's traditional pastel paper. The reason why I like to do both is the traditional paper can't hold on to as much pastel as easily, so it's a better gauge for judging how hard or how soft a pastel is, and the UArt sanded paper lets me know how those pastels will behave on the surface that I typically work on. To give you an idea of how big these pastels are, because there is no standard sizing when it comes to pastel sticks, I thought I'd show you a little side-by-side comparison. So here it is compared to the Unison soft pastels, and the Lightwish ones are a little bit longer. So you're getting more product per stick. They're similar in diameter, so they're going to have a similar feel in your hand when you're holding them. The Lightwish pastels are long enough that you can easily break them in half and just work with a half stick if that is what you prefer. Similar in size to the Mungyo one, similar in diameter. This is a thicker pastel than the Sennelier or the Schmincke ones that are on the market. Here it is compared to a Jack Richardson half stick, and then the Paul Rubens full-size stick. When I was swatching these colors and testing them out, I noticed that the texture of the pastels stayed consistent across all of the colors. So we didn't have one color that was really dry and scratchy and another one that was really soft. It was a consistent texture across all the colors, which is a really big pro in my book. I've had some really expensive brands of pastels that some colors were really dry and scratchy and wouldn't hardly deposit color, and other ones were really soft and kind of crumbled a little bit more. This one stayed consistent, and it's really nice to have that predictability when you're using a product. I also found that these pastels blended out really, really well. They blended out well with rubbing alcohol or here with water. I didn't have to spend a lot of time scrubbing it. I didn't have to use an excessive amounts of water. They laid down really nicely, and then they blended out with a sponge. These pastels really reminded me of the Mungyo Gallery pastels. The Mungyo Gallery pastels are a little bit creamier in texture. These ones were a little bit drier, but in terms of how they felt in my hand when I was using them, their firmness, how hard or soft they are really, really similar to the Mungyo ones. And a little word to the wise, if you are going to be blending out your pastels, make sure your blending tool's clean. I had a momentary lapse of reason, and I used a blending tool and I didn't wipe it off beforehand, and it deposited dark pigment onto my yellow stripes and I had to redo it. But this blended out well with the blending tool, and then I started layering up my blues just to get a feel for how these pastels layer in like a wider blending section. And it was looking like a little sky, and me being who I am, I had to turn it into a little tiny landscape, tried to put some flowers in the foreground, and just had fun layering these colors and getting a feel for how they behave. Soft pastels kind of come in a spectrum of textures. So there are really, really soft pastels on the market, like the Schminke and the Great American, which are some of the softest ones you can possibly get. And then there's some really hard ones, like the Rembrandts, the new pastels, and they are on opposite extremes. And then there's kind of that middle of the road where they're not super, super soft, where they crumble and break apart easily and generate tons and tons of powder, but they're not super, super hard, where they're kind of scratchy. And these kind of fit right in that middle, along the lines of the Jack Richardson pastels and the Diane Townsend hand-formed pastels. That's kind of where these are sitting. And to translate that, that means when I'm working on a sanded paper, which tends to grab onto pigment really easily, I'm still able to get quite a few layers in. When I was doing that swatch, I was able to get 9 layers of pastel before I started filling in the tooth of the paper too much. That is a good sign, for me at least, because that is what I prefer. Every artist has their own preferences, but for the most part, I prefer kind of a middle of the road firmness, like the Unison, like the Diane Townsend, like the Lightwish texture, because I can get a lot of layering done, and then I can save my ultra soft pastels for the end and final details. These pastels are a little bit firmer than the Paul Rubin ones, but they're softer than the May Muffin and the Blick brand pastels. So now let's really put these pastels through their paces and see what they can do. I am working on UArt paper in a sketchbook that I made. If you want to see how to make a soft pastel sketchbook, you can watch the demo here. But I am just working on the sketchbook. The paper I'm working on is UArt 600 grit. So it's a finer texture. It won't be able to take as many layers as the 400. So just something to keep in mind. But I just started out by sketching out the shape of Kona Arch. It's an arch found in Moab, and it's one of my favorite hikes to take while I'm there. It's such a stunning sight. So I love drawing it, and I sketched out Kona Arch, and then I started blending out my colors using rubbing alcohol. I did kind of purples in the skies, dark purples and oranges on the arch itself, and it blended out beautifully with the rubbing alcohol as expected. Other than using a pastel pencil for the sketching stages of this painting, I will be using 100% of the Lightwish colors. The reason why I'm doing this is just to see what I can do with just this set alone. I know what it's like to just be getting started with soft pastels and not having a million colors to choose from. And when you're really limited, you need to make that palette work. And I have a lot of tutorials and tips and tricks on how to extend a very limited palette. But when I'm reviewing and testing out a product, I want to see what I can do with just what they gave me. So I am going to do the rest of this landscape just using the Lightwish pastels. And while I'm doing it, let's talk about these pastels, pros and cons, and my feelings for them in general. I wanted to mention that this is actually the third painting I did with these pastels. I tested them out on Canson-Mitons paper, and I tested them out on a handmade sanded surface that has a lot of texture and grit to it. The reason why I'm doing this kind of comparison is so that I can give a more informed opinion when I am reviewing them, because not everyone works on the same type of surface as I do. So how do I feel about these pastels? Well, I really like them. I really like the texture of them. They fit in that perfect Goldilocks texture for me, where they're not too soft and they're not too hard. I like that they're not crumbly or powdery or break apart. They also don't generate an excessive amount of dust, which is a really big plus for me. I like that they're not hard and scratchy and kind of skip across the surface. This is the texture that I tend to gravitate the most to when I'm working. That is why my favorite pastels are Terry Ludwig pastels, Jack Richardson pastels. This is right in line with those. Unison pastels. This is a similar texture to those. That's why I like the Mungyo pastels so much as well when I reviewed those years ago. Earlier I talked about this color palette in this set, and I mentioned how well balanced the colors were. I mentioned how, you had a good balance of general warm colors and cool colors I liked how there was warm and cools of each color family. So you had yellows that leaned closer to green and you had yellows that leaned closer to orange. You had blues that kind of followed the same rule. Some of them leaned a little bit closer to purple and some of them leaned a little closer to green. Having the balance of warm and cools in general and then as in each color family is a really big bonus. So I felt like this set was a really good balance on that. I liked how there was beautiful neutrals, beautiful, more muted colors to choose from, and I liked how it had a good balance of light and dark. I also just liked the colors in the set in general. So not just how balanced the set is in terms of colors and warms and cools and neutrals and brights and all of that. I just like the colors. The colors in the set are really well thought out and beautiful, and they all work really well together. So this is a set that you can use and your painting is going to look like all of these colors belong together. There's going to be a feeling of harmony. And I like how the colors in it are different than what you see from similar sets at a similar price point. Some of the colors in the set reminded me of some of the more expensive brands that I've bought pastels from. So a really well curated color story with the 72 set, at least. I can't speak for the other sets because I haven't tried them out, but the colors in this set I was a big fan of. Something else I'm a big fan of is the price point. When I was first getting started with soft pastels over 10 years ago, I really struggled to find good quality entry-level soft pastels to work with. So a step above the children's grade pastels that are on the market and a step below the professional ones, which get to be $6 or $7 per stick. That's how expensive they can get. I just wanted something that was nice quality that I could enjoy and paint with, that I didn't have to be so precious with that I was worried I was going to waste them, but not so cheap that I couldn't actually learn and develop my skill. These pastels are sitting right in that sweet spot of being an affordable price point while also being really high quality. For the 72 set that you see me using here, you can get it on Amazon for $45. And that breaks down to being about 63 cents per pastel stick, which is a really reasonable price, especially when you realize that these are quite large, full-size pastel sticks. If you want some comparisons, the Mungyo pastels that you saw me comparing these to earlier, that are a similar size and everything, those ones are selling for about $1.05 per pastel stick. So these are quite a bit cheaper than those. The Paul Rubens pastels, which are another kind of entry-level friendly pastel set that are on the market, those ones are selling for about 55 cents per pastel stick, and those are less than half the size of these. So you are getting over double the amount of pastel per stick than what you would get with the Paul Rubens ones. They also offer these pastels in a variety of sets. So you can get a portrait set, you can get a metallic one. That one would be cool to try out. And you can also get this in a 36 set if you want to just try out a few of the pastels before you commit to something bigger. You can do that. Or you can get a really big set, the 120 set. The 120 set is $80 and the 36 set is $30. The price per stick kind of varies per set, so there is some variation within that, but you have variety and you can kind of grab the one that fits best for you. The only real downside that I saw with these pastels was that you can't buy them in open stock. They are not available to buy individual colors, so if you buy this set and there's 3 or 4 colors that you absolutely use and you want to replace, you can't replace them without buying the entire set. So that is a bit of a downside, but if you are just getting started with pastels or you're starting to build up your collection or you want some inexpensive pastels to use, these might be a really good option for you. And then here are a side-by-side comparison of the 3 different papers I tested these pastels on. This is the Canson Mitons paper. This is a traditional soft pastel paper, so it doesn't have as much tooth to it. It can't handle as much layering. And I was still able to get a fully rendered painting with it. Now, I would say on that one, I would want a little bit softer of a pastel to do finishing details. Whereas this paper is a matte board that I applied a sanded medium that I made to the surface. And it is very hard and very coarse, and that has the ability to cause pastels to kind of break apart and crumble when you're drawing on it. And these Lightwish pastels were firm enough to withstand it and create a beautiful little painting. So these pastels are really flexible, are really adaptable to whatever surface you're working on and whatever project you're working on because of the well-balanced and curated nature of the set. So if you guys want to check these out, Lightwish was kind enough to send me a coupon code to save you some money. And the information on that is in the description box and in the comments. If you guys want to see more of what I create, be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!